Greetings of the day, students. Today we will be understanding tenses and their usage in English language. But before we start understanding how to use them, we need to know what a tense actually is. Tense is a verb based concept used in languages to refer to time and course of action, whether it's completed or is in progress in relation to the time of speaking. So basically, term is a concept that we use to refer to the time of the action. At what time the action takes place or did take place. Okay, and the course of action, whether the action got completed or was it in progress or is it going to happen in some time in future. Okay, and we compare it to the current time, the time of speaking or writing. Before we move on to further things about tense, did you know that the term tense originates from a Latin term tempus, that means time. Now when we talk about tenses, usually two things pop in our minds. What are they? First thing is time, obviously. Okay, the first thing that appears in our mind is time, and the second thing is the aspect of the action, whether it was completed or was it in progress. Now time expresses what? The past, the present and the future, whether the action took place at some point in the past or is it happening now or is it planned for some future. Aspect could be, now let's see what could aspect be. It could be progressive, action in progress, continuation, clear, and it could be perfective, action that has been completed. Now before we read these tenses individually, let's see what tenses are there. We know there are three references of time: past, present and future. Past, present, future. Now there are four tenses. The first one is simple or indefinite tense. Second one is progressive or continuous tense. Third one is perfect, and the fourth one is perfect continuous. So based on these we make various tenses: simple past, past continuous, past perfect continuous, simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous, simple future, future continuous, future perfect continuous. What is simple present? Before we move on to understand any other thing, let's see what is the formation of sentence in simple present tense. We use subject, then we use verb, the first form of verb, and if the subject is singular we use s or es, as you all know. Now what is the aspect of simple present tense? There is no aspect in simple present tense. Why? Because it is a indefinite tense. It is an indefinite tense. It represents. What does simple present represent? What are the sentences? What are the things? What are the actions that we talk about in simple present tense? Let's see. Habits, routines and schedules. The first thing is habits, routines and schedules. Clear? What is a habit? Something that we keep on doing again and again. A routine is also a same thing, something that keeps happening over and over again. So there is no stoppage to it. Clear? There might be at some point of time, but when at the point of time when we are talking about it, there is no such thing. Clear? So basically in present tense there are habits and routines. Clear? What are the examples? I do my homework daily. This is a habit. This is something that you do on a daily basis. Monica hits the gym at 4 p.m. She hits the gym, she goes to gym daily at 4 p.m. Okay? What are the other things that can be discussed in simple present? That simple present tense represents universal facts. What are universal facts? Something that is true worldwide, something that does not change. Example for it is sun rises in the east. Sun will never rise in the west. So universal facts like the reactions of the science or any scientific fact could be there, like we breathe oxygen, we cannot breathe carbon dioxide. Clear? That is a fact, universal fact or scientific truth. One more thing that simple present represents is, where we use simple present, is exclamations beginning with here and there. Exclamatory sentences that begin with here and there, like there you go, here comes the rain. Okay, let's see the example. There you go. Okay, now what is the verb usage of simple present? How do we use verbs in it? With plural subjects like I, we, they, you. We use first form of the verb only. Now you and I are singular, but with them we never use s or es in the verb. Rather, with he, she, it and other singular subjects, common nouns and other proper nouns, we use first form of the verb plus s or es. So we work and he works. Understood? That is the difference. Okay, so I work, we live, and he works, or he lives, or he eats. Ram eats, Ram cries. Okay, now we'll move on to simple past. What is the formation of sentence in simple past? We use subject plus second form of the verb. What is the aspect of simple past? There is no aspect, again, because it is indefinite tense. But in some things we use when some work is completed in the past. See, the aspect is perfective, completed, but we use it in simple past. When the work is done in the past, we use simple past sometimes, like he did his work. Clear? What does simple past represent? It represents actions completed in the past. See, we are at the left hand side of this center present point. Okay, so the action completed in the past is basically expressed with simple past tense. Clear? Habits of the past can also represent habits of the past. For example, we can say Sherlock never carried a gun with him. So it's a habit of Sherlock, habit of past, not present. Other examples are I never did my homework on time. So this is basically a habit of me from the past, right? So it is just, for example, I used to do my homework on time. Okay, so I did my homework yesterday. So action completed in the past. There is a note that says it can be used with sentences having adverb of time and the ones missing it too. So it does not matter if we have adverb of time or not, but we use simple past if the action was completed in the past. Clear? I did my homework would also be fine. What are the other things we need to know about simple past? We use second form of the verb in simple past. Most of the times what we do is we make second form of the verb, past verb, by adding ed at the last of the verb, except for a few verbs. They are called irregular verbs. Most of the times whenever we have a verb we make the second form by using ed at the last, by adding ed at the last of the verb word. But there are some irregular verbs which have their own second forms. I'm sharing with you a few examples of these irregular verbs. They are drink, the second form is drank, third form is drunk. There is give, gave, given, run, ran, run, bend, bent, bent, eat, ate, eaten, come, came, come. What are the examples? He came at time. We eat banana day before yesterday. The soldiers bent in front of their king or ruler. Clear? So these are the second forms. There are more verbs, irregular verbs, that you should know the second forms of to use them in simple past. Present continuous tense. What is present continuous? It's self-explanatory continuous. The work is in continuity. How are the sentences formed? Subject plus is, am, are based on what the subject is plus ing form of the verb. What is the aspect? Told you, aspect is progressive. Okay, what does it represent? It represents action in progress. With I, now let's see these helping verbs. With I we use am. With he, she, it and singular subjects we use is. And with we, they, you, plural subjects we use are. Clear? Other things about present continuous. It represents actions happening now. Told you, actions happening now at the time of speaking. It may also represent some temporary activities. For example, I am doing my homework. So that is something which is happening now. Mehak is learning to play guitar. She is not learning the guitar to play guitar all through the day. It is a temporary activity, a hobby, we can say, something that happens, okay, continuously daily. So Mehak is learning to play guitar. So we also represent temporary activities with present continuous tense. The things, it also represents things happening around us, like COVID-19 is affecting the people of entire world. Clear? It may also represent an action already planned in the future. See, it is present continuous tense and we are referring to the future in it. Please note it down. Please always keep it in mind that present continuous can also represent few actions that are already planned in future, like I am going to attend the meeting tomorrow. Let's see more examples. I am going to read On the Road today. Now On the Road is the name of the book. I am not currently doing it, okay, but I am going to read it. So whenever you see going to in a sentence, basically it's about future reference, something that you have planned. Clear? My uncle is arriving tomorrow. So it is not something that is happening right now. He is going to come tomorrow, but it has been planned already. So we use present continuous. Okay, always remember going to. It's very important. Whenever you see going to in a sentence, it's about future. You can also use going to whenever you are planning an action in the future, like I'm going to watch the video that Anubhav sir has sent me. Okay, past continuous. Now self-explanatory. Past, we are talking about past. Continuous, there is continuity in the action, there is progress in the action. How the sentences are formed? Subject plus was verb plus verb ing form of the verb. Clear? Aspect क्या है? It's always progressive in the continuous tenses. Now, what does it represent? It represents an unfinished ongoing action in the past. See, we are in the past. A persistent habit, we are in the past here. A persistent habit of the past. Persistent habit of the past, something someone kept doing in the past. Let's see examples to understand it better. I was doing my work. Clear? He was drawing a cartoon when the teacher took away his notebook. So something was going on in the past. He was always gambling. A persistent habit of the past. Could be he was always grumbling or he was always crying. Okay, a persistent habit of the past. Past continuous. Further, when there are two parts in a sentence, there is an interruption. The task is in progress and is being interrupted is stated in the past continuous and the other part is stated in the simple past. Now, if there are two verbs in a sentences, two actions in the sentence, one that is being interrupted by the other thing, we keep the sentence, the action that is being interrupted in past continuous tense and the other one is in simple past. Let's see an example. He was drawing a cartoon when the teacher took away his notebook. So he was drawing a card. What was he doing first? He was drawing a cartoon. And then what happened? Teacher came and took away his notebook. So he was drawing a cartoon when the teacher took away his notebook. Jack threw a paper ball at me while I was writing my test. What was I doing? See, we have used the interrupting thing here first. Clear? And the thing that was interrupted afterwards. I was writing my test. I was doing it first. And then Jack threw a paper ball at me. So the thing that was happening first could be in the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence, but the thing that is being interrupted has to be in simple past continuous and the thing that interrupts is to be written in simple past. Present perfect tense. Now perfect. We know perfect means completed. Clear? We will first see what is the formation of the sentence. We use subject plus has have plus third form of the verb. Clear? Aspect is completed. I already told you. It represents actions completed in the recent past. See, recent past. Okay. Experiences, something experienced. Okay, you might have experienced something, but you may do it again. That is why there is a progressive arrow over here, because you may do it again. It's not that you have stopped doing it. You have done one part of that action and you may continue to do it, have the same experience again and again, but it's completed for one time, so we are using present perfect tense. An action that began in past continues up to the present. Clear? Let's see a few examples. Before looking at the examples, let's see how the verbs, helping verbs are used. The helping verbs here are has and have. Clear? So with he, she, it and singular subjects we use has. With I, we, they, you and plural subjects we use have. Let's see a few examples. I have done my work. Now I have done my work, so it is an action of recent past. I might do it again. Okay, I may have another work coming up, but I have done my work. Clear? In the recent past. Actions completed in the recent past. Experiences. Raj has watched so many movies. Okay, so it's not that he is going to stop watching movies, but he has watched so many movies. So something That is an experience. He has experienced so many movies, he'll experience it again, but he completed it. I have gone to America. So it does not mean that it's finished, it's over. No, it can happen again, but it was completed in some recent past. Clear? An action that began in the past continues up to the present. We have enrolled for the judo classes. So we have enrolled it. It doesn't mean the action has stopped, but we have done one part of it. Okay. Now we have enrolled for it and we will be going to it, through it. Okay. What is past perfect? The formation of sentence is subject plus had plus third form of the verb. Now let's see the aspect. Obviously completed. What does it represent? It represents action completed in the past. Now see, this is something. Action completed in the past. Clear? Example, I had done my homework. Raj had watched half of the movie when we reached his house. So the action is completed. Half of the movie was completed. Clear? Whatever we talk about, whatever the work we are talking about here is completed. Important note, if there are two actions of the past in a sentence, we use past perfect with the action that was completed first. Same thing as it was in the past continuous tense. Clear? If there are two actions of the past in a sentence, the action which was completed first gets past perfect and the second one gets simple past. Raj had watched half of the movie. So what is the first action? Had watched first half of the movie. Clear? And then we reach. The second action that happened is we reaching his house. So he had watched half of the movie when we reached his house. Present perfect continuous. Now the formation of the sentence here is subject plus has, have plus been plus ing form of the verb because continuity. Aspect is progressive because continuous. It represents action started in the past but still in progress. Okay. The action here you can see is still in progress. We have an arrow moving forward. Example. You need to see example to understand it. Action started in the past, not completed in the past. Clear? The difference. Try to understand the difference. It's not completed. It's started in the past but still in progress. Like I have been doing my homework since afternoon. I started doing my homework in the afternoon and I am doing it till now. Okay. So it is happening. It is started in the past but it is still going on since afternoon. Yes, time is very important in perfect continuous tenses. We have been waiting for the result for a month. I told you time is very important in present perfect, in perfect continuous tenses. Clear? What do we use since for and what do we use for? Since is used to refer to the time when the action began. Like in this example, since afternoon. I started doing my homework from afternoon. Clear? And I am doing it till now. And for is used to refer to the duration of time, for how long the work has been going on. We have been waiting for the result for a month, so the duration here is a month. Clear? Since is used to tell you when the task was started, and for is used to tell the duration of the time for which the action has been going on. This third thing that you can also use, it's all day. I have been doing my work all day. Clear? When you are using anything like this, all day, all night, all week, all month, all year, you do not need since or for. Clear? They come without these helping. Past perfect continuous. The formation is subject plus had been plus verb, ing form obviously. Aspect, first progressive action in the past. What is the first progressive action in the past here? Let's see what it represents. Action started in the past but still in progress. It's continuous, so everything has to be in progress. Now, what do you understand by first progressive action in the past? There are two actions. There was one action in progress, and then the second action starts. Let's see the example to understand it better. I had been doing my homework for 2 hours when it started to rain. Clear? So there are two actions. It started to rain and I was doing my homework. So I had started to do my homework and then it began to rain. So for how much time I had been doing my work? For 2 hours. So I had been doing my work for 2 hours when it started to rain. Clear? Now you are justifying the second action with the first action. Clear? You were in action. You are justifying that action. Clear? When something happened. We had been sleeping all night. It can also come without the second action at many times, but most of the times you will see two actions in there. We had been sleeping all night. We were sleeping. We had been sleeping all night. So it is some action in the past. Clear? Since for we understand. See, sometimes there is an exception. The work may not be in progress. So we will cross it for the sentences like these. Some action of continuity in the past. We had been sleeping all night. We are talking about night, and what was going on in the night? Sleeping. Clear? Some continuous, some progressive action of the past. Simple future. Now, future, as I have already told you, can also be expressed with present continuous tense by using going to or some planned action. My uncle is coming tomorrow. Clear? I am going to get myself enrolled in judo classes. So it is some future action, but that is different. That is used in different aspects. We will now see where do we use simple future tense. The formation of sentences: subject plus will shall plus first form of the verb. Let me tell you, shall has now mostly gone out of fashion. So most of the times we use will. Clear? Before, shall was used with I and we, and will was used with other subjects. Clear? But now most of the times we use will, and many of the books have totally omitted shall out of them, but we will be studying them for our knowledge. There is no aspect in the simple future, obviously, because it is indefinite tense. It represents future as a fact, it represents predictions, it represents plans, okay, but all of these are set in future. Clear? It also represents offers, promises. Okay, so how does it do that? How do we express or represent these things through simple future tense? Let's see examples. I will do my homework daily if my dad gets me a mobile phone. That is an offer, that is a promise. It comes in both offer and promise. Clear? I will do my homework daily if my dad gets me a phone. You have put a condition, but the action is going to happen in future. The police will find the culprit. Future as a fact, prediction. Clear? I will turn 16 this year. It is also future as a fact. What is plan? I will go to city in the evening. Do not go out I'm not going out. We are on a lockdown. Okay, it's just an example. Clear? Very important, never use will in the if clause. See, I used it in the other clause. I will do my homework if my dad gets me. So the sentences, the clauses that begin with if do not ever take will in them. Mind that thing. Future continuous tense. Now, what is the formation of sentence? Subject plus will shall plus be plus verb. Ing form of the verb. The aspect is obviously progressive. It represents ongoing actions in the future. Action is started and in progress, but it is happening in future. Or it may also represent a future plan. Let's see the examples. I will be doing my homework in the evening. It is a future plan and a progressive action of the future too. It is going to be continually happening, progressively happening in the future. In the evening, I will be doing my homework, the work in progress. I will be attending the meeting if I get there in time. This is perfectly future plan. Clear? I will be attending the meeting if I get there in time. Clear? Future perfect. The formation of sentence is subject plus will shall plus have plus third form of the verb. Aspect obviously action completed. It represents actions completed in the future. How? Actions are here. We are in the future. Action to be completed in future. What does that mean? I will have completed my homework by the evening. So by the evening my work would be completed. Is to be completed in the future. We will have the project completed by next month if we pay some. This is a conditional. There is a condition in it. If we pace up, we will have the project completed by the next month. So action to be completed in future. Completion is the keyword here. Okay, it's a rare form, not mostly used, but not too rare too, but it is used. Clear? Future perfect continuous. Now what is that? Let's see the formation of sentences first. Subject plus will shall plus have been plus first form of the verb with ing plus time. There is so much in this tense. Aspect is obviously progressive. It represents progressive actions in the future with time. We are in the future. Example: as the clock strikes 6 p.m., I will have been doing my work for 2 hours. I will have been doing my homework for 2 hours. Action going on in the future. We are talking about something. I will have been doing my homework. See, the progressive action is doing my homework and I will be doing that. Clear? And for how much time? For 2 hours. Clear? In January, the project will have been going on for a year. So we are talking about some future aspect. What will be the progress at that point of time? Clear? It is very rarely used tense. You may not see it here and there. It's used in very exceptional cases, and we'll just come across it 1 in 100 sentence or 200 sentences, I don't know, but it is there and you should know it because you do not know when to use it, when you get the use of it. Clear? So with this we are done with the tenses. I hope you have understood them all. If you have any doubts, you can ask them in the comment section as usual. Thank you. Happy learning.